What's your name? That way, in case these cars come.
I don't give out any private information.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need your information. If these cars get broken into, I'm gonna need your information. Okay.
They're not gonna get my information today, officer.
Well, sit tight on that one. Okay? Stay over here by my video camera, please.
Stay over where?
Right here in front of my video camera.
Am I being detained? I'm gonna stand where I'd like. Told you guys, Long Island Audit here. Back again with another video. Today we're at the Germantown City Hall / Police Department here in Germantown, Tennessee. We are here today to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to film in public and publicly accessible areas, to promote transparency and accountability within our government, and to ensure that our public servants respect our rights and treat us with respect. Let's get into it. How you doing? Oh, thank you. Greeted by the employees here right away. That's very good. Board members.
The video doesn't ease in, it detonates. From the very first seconds, the tension is already alive and breathing. An officer steps in with authority, asking for a name as if it's routine. But the response instantly flips the script. Calm, controlled, and firm. Refusal. No hesitation. No compliance. Just a clear line drawn in the sand. What makes this moment gripping is how quickly it escalates, without raising voices. The officer justifies his demand by referencing potential car break-ins, attempting to establish suspicion. But the man doesn't engage emotionally. Instead, he redirects the entire interaction with one powerful question. Am I being detained? That single question transforms the encounter. It shifts the dynamic from casual inquiry to legal scrutiny. Suddenly, this isn't just a conversation. It's a test of authority versus rights. The officer continues pressing, but there's a subtle imbalance. He's asking for compliance, without clearly defining the legal grounds for it. Then comes the body language, the positioning, the tone, the insistence. The officer wants control of the situation, but the man refuses to surrender it. And that refusal is not aggressive, it's calculated. That's what makes it powerful. As the scene transitions into the narrator's intro, the audience already knows what kind of encounter this will be. There's no mystery about the stakes. They've been established immediately. Authority has made its move. Resistance has answered. And now, the real question isn't just what's happening. It's who's actually in control.
There goes our friendly reminder that they're always recording us, even though it's always an issue when we record them. Aldermen, all the different aldermans here. And this is the mayor, Mike Palazzolo. Finance and General Services. Let's see what's down here. Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How can we help you?
I don't need any help at the moment. Thank you, though. I appreciate that.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too.
All right, so everything went well on the inside. Let's take a look around the building. Always be on the lookout for any restricted area signs or no trespassing signs. Because again, our objective here is not to...
After that intense opening, the pace shifts, but not the purpose. Inside the building, everything feels almost normal, calm, respectful. Employees interact politely, offering assistance without confrontation. It's a stark contrast to the tension outside, and that contrast matters. From a third-party perspective, this segment serves as quiet evidence. The man isn't disruptive. He isn't aggressive. He moves with intention, scanning the environment, documenting what's visible, and staying within clearly accessible areas. His behavior is consistent, observant, controlled, and deliberate. But beneath that calm surface, there's a layer of anticipation. The viewer knows what's coming, even if the people inside don't. The presence of surveillance cameras is acknowledged, an ironic reminder that recording is acceptable when done by the institution, but often challenged when done by the public. As he exits and moves toward the police department side, the tone subtly shifts again. The environment changes, less public-facing, more enforcement-oriented. The stakes begin to rise, even before any words are exchanged. And then it happens, the approach. An officer notices him near the vehicles, and curiosity quickly turns into suspicion. The calm walkthrough is over. The observation has been noticed. And now, the interaction is no longer passive. It's about to become direct. This segment acts like the calm before a storm, controlled, quiet, but loaded with tension just beneath the surface. Because now the roles are about to collide. Observer meets authority.
Break the law. It's to peacefully exercise our rights. That's it. Police department is right here. It's the backside of the city hall to protect and serve. If only all law enforcement officers truly understood that.
The confrontation begins with curiosity, but quickly evolves into something more serious. The officer questions why the man is looking into police vehicles, framing the behavior as unusual. From his perspective, it's about prevention. From the observer's standpoint, it's about rights. The man responds clearly. He's recording. No hesitation, no evasion. Just a direct answer. But instead of resolving the situation, it deepens it. Because now, the officer must justify why that's a problem. And that's where the tension sharpens. The man flips the conversation with precision. Do you suspect me of committing a crime? It's not just a question, it's a challenge. A demand for legal grounding. The officer attempts to explain suspicion based on past incidents, but the justification feels broad, almost hypothetical. From an outside perspective, this is where the encounter becomes a legal chess match. Every statement matters. Every word is weighed. The man introduces a critical concept, reasonable suspicion, while the officer struggles to clearly define it in this context. The power dynamic starts to shift. The officer initiated the contact, but now he's on the defensive, trying to validate his reasoning. Meanwhile, the man remains steady, grounded in his understanding of the law. What makes this segment compelling isn't volume, it's control. Neither side is shouting, but the stakes are rising. Because now, it's no longer about curiosity, it's about justification. And the question hanging in the air is simple, yet powerful. Is this suspicion or assumption?
How you doing today?
Sir?
How you doing?
Good. Just checking around. You walking around? You looking for somebody?
No, I'm not looking for anybody.
Oh, just checking around, man. Like I said, we try to keep this lot secure and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Police cars and all. We don't want nobody breaking in. That's all. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Alright, now I'm curious.
You curious?
This is where the encounter reaches its peak tension. The officer doubles down, continuing to press for identification and an explanation. But the man refuses to shift. Instead, he repeats the same question. Am I being detained? Over and over, like a pressure point the officer can't escape. From a third-person perspective, this repetition isn't defiance, it's strategy. It forces the officer into a corner, where he must either assert legal authority or admit there isn't enough to do so. The officer introduces the idea of potential criminal intent, suggesting the man could be casing vehicles. It's a serious implication, but without evidence. It hangs in the air without weight. The man doesn't react emotionally. He doesn't argue aggressively. He simply refuses to comply. And that refusal becomes the center of the conflict. Then comes escalation, not physical, but procedural. The officer decides to call a supervisor. It's a clear sign that the situation has moved beyond his control. He's no longer confident in handling it alone. This moment is critical. It signals uncertainty. It shows that authority, when challenged with knowledge, sometimes pauses. And as the call is made, the tension shifts from confrontation to anticipation. Because now, everything depends on what happens next. Will authority double down or step back?
Germantown Police Department. What's your name?
What's your name and badge number?
Officer Cordova, Germantown Police Department. Will you sit tight right there for me?
Yeah.
I'm curious as to why you're walking around the patrol vehicles and holding your phone as if you're recording looking into it. What is your nature? What is your business?
Oh,
712.
that's exactly what I'm doing, officer. I'm recording the police vehicles.
Stand by when I'm speaking to the second. Alright, well, what's your name? That way, in case these cars come...
I don't give out any private information.
Okay, well, I'm going to need your information. If these cars get broken into, I'm going to need your information.
The arrival of a second officer changes everything, instantly. The tone softens. The pressure eases. And within moments, clarity replaces confusion. From an outside perspective, this is the turning point. The new officer communicates with calm authority, referencing a captain's confirmation. Filming is allowed. Just like that, the entire foundation of the initial confrontation collapses. The first officer, who moments ago was pressing for identification, now has no ground to stand on. The shift is subtle but undeniable. His posture changes. His tone adjusts. The urgency disappears. Meanwhile, the man remains consistent. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't escalate. But he reinforces his position. He was never obligated to provide his name. This segment highlights something powerful: the difference between assumption and knowledge. One officer acted on suspicion. The other acted on clarity. And that difference resolves the conflict. But even as the situation de-escalates, there's a lingering tension. Not from what's happening, but from what almost happened. Because if that second officer hadn't stepped in, how far would this have gone?
Do you suspect me of committing a crime, sir?
Well, sir, you're walking around looking in these cars, and I'm trying to make sure none of that's going to happen.
Is that a crime, sir?
Well, I'm trying to make sure it's not going to happen. So go ahead with it.
That's not a crime, sir.
Okay, go ahead with your information.
I only provide my information
Okay.
when you suspect me of committing a crime. You need reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime, sir. Suspicion is not a crime.
Give me a second.
Sure thing.
Will you stay over here by my video camera, please?
Stay over where?
Right here in front of my video camera.
Am I being detained?
Right now, I want to find out why you're looking at these cars in case you might be breaking into cars later.
Am I being detained, sir?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. Okay?
Am I being
Is there
detained?
any reason why you're doing that? Can you give me a good answer?
Am I being detained,
I'm
sir?
just asking, can you give me a good answer why you're looking at cars?
Am I being detained, sir?
712, go ahead.
Check.
I mean, you checking up on me before. That's all good.
Well,
that's all
I
good.
just saw
But
you kind of
hopping
walk
out.
by, and then I saw you kind of looking at patrol cars and recording. So I'm trying to make sure again, you're
Yeah.
not looking to case these vehicles to break into, because we have had people do that.
You've had
So-
people break into
Yeah,
police
absolutely.
cars
Yes, sir. We've had that. So that's why
on
I'm
a
doing
police
my job.
parking lot.
Okay, yeah. Believe it or not, people
has
are
it happened
crazy
before?
Like that, I know, right? It's wild.
I doubt that's ever happened.
Okay, well, hey.
I can
once
look
you
into
get
it.
Okay, good for you. Well, again, that's why I'm trying to get your information to make sure in case anything happens, I can say, hey, I spoke
You're
to
not
you.
going to get my information today, officer.
Well, sit tight on that one, okay?
Sit tight on that
Yeah.
one?
I'm going to speak to my lieutenant. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll get to the gist of everything.
you're not gonna
Can you
get my
do me a favor,
information.
Not come in my car, just out of the way.
I'm going to stand where I'd like, please. Thanks. I'd appreciate it.
Well, stay where you're at.
So we have an undercover, or an unmarked, I should say, Ford Fusion here. You can see the lights right here in the back window.
Videotape the parking lot, anything like that. He's allowed to videotape the parking lot. Per Captain Simpson, so.
Per who? I just want to know who you spoke with, sir.
Our captain.
Oh, okay. Can you mind if I get your name and badge number?
My name is Officer Foley, 0695.
Thank you. And the captain you spoke with?
He just said, I don't know which captain was. We just got I called my lieutenant. He said, the captain said you can walk around, look at cars or whatever.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that, just in case, because he doesn't seem too happy that I'm recording.
Yeah, I just got a phone call, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That you came over here, Officer Poli,
Yes,
and
sir.
you saved the day, because I didn't know what this guy was going to do, to be honest.
Oh, no, he's fine.
Okay, I hope so.
He's a good guy. You're good.
I hope so.
you can do
I'm a good guy too, I promise. I'm not here with any nefarious purposes or anything like that.
Yep.
Officer Poli. All right, well, thank you, sir. Better not pull that that notepad out anymore, because you're not getting my name.
No. Right, no. The only thing that raised my suspicion about is the fact that he was reporting me to make things easier on cars. Trying to make sure he wasn't trying to pull on door handles, trying to get in cars or anything like that. So when he was kind of getting flack about it, it kind of made me worried. He was trying to change things like that. So I just thought it was kind of random for somebody to be doing that. Oh, did he? Okay. No, that's fine. I appreciate it. Like I said, he wasn't giving me much, to work with as far as why he was randomly walking the police car running around. But I appreciate it. Thanks for the heads up. All right. Well, cool, man. All right. Well, like I said, just obviously you're recording us, we're recording you, so hopefully, nothing else comes up back here. All right. So take care of yourself. Be careful.
Yeah. Told you weren't gonna get my name or information. Nothing. I'll smile for you.
That'll work, man. That way, in case anything comes up, like I said, all right?
I'll smile for you. You'll have a picture with no name.
Be careful.
Great investigative work there, buddy. Jesus. There's always got to be one. So you got Officer Poley over here and the captain, thankfully. Because I got tyrant vibes off of this officer here. Definite tyrant vibes. There's nothing wrong with taking some pictures of taxpayer-funded vehicles. Nothing wrong with it. I told him that's what I was doing. And if he wouldn't have been such a jerk to me, I would have explained more. You guys have seen in some videos, I give out my first name, my purpose, independent journalist, but he was being such a jerk, trying to demand things from me. Now I'm gonna invoke my rights. I don't have to tell you anything. You want to be difficult, I'm gonna be difficult with you. You want to try and force me to talk to you. That's why I always say de-escalation is key. It is key. 100%. I don't know why they have any need for these kind of vehicles when they never use them. In time of crisis, we all saw what happened at the Uvalde shooting. Didn't use any of their high-tech equipment they have, any of their military equipment. They should be stripped of all their high-tech equipment and all their military hand-me-downs if they're not going to use them when the community needs them to protect us. But then the courts say they have no obligation to, but yet they were preventing parents from going inside, right? This doesn't make any sense to me. All right, guys, so we're just gonna get a few more pictures of these taxpayer funded vehicles in this public parking lot here, and then we'll be getting out of here. All right, guys, so we're just getting out of the city hall here, as well as the police department here in Germantown, Tennessee. As far as inside the city hall and the police department, we didn't run into any issues. No one tried to violate our constitutional rights. You know, we were asked if we needed help, but that was about it. So I commend them for their performance on the inside. When I went to go take a walk around the grounds and to take some additional pictures and video of the police cars, you know, I wasn't in any sort of restricted area, but Officer Cordo made contact with me. And again, I don't fault any police officer for making quick contact. That's not an issue with me. But when he came back, because his curiosity got the better of him, again, curiosity did kill the cat, but his curiosity got the better of him, and then he wanted to know my name and my purpose and everything else, and took out his fancy little notepad, and he was so sure that he was going to get it until Officer Poley thankfully spoke to a captain, and he said I was well within my rights to take pictures and video from public. You know, I didn't like Officer Cordo's demeanor or his attitude towards me. I don't think it was very professional. He seemed a little like a tyrant to me, to be honest. Those are the vibes I was getting. So I'm grateful for the captain sending somebody out in order to educate him, and hopefully he is now educated on not only our First Amendment right to film in public, freedom of press, but also our Fourth Amendment right and Fifth Amendment right. I don't have to answer any questions. I don't have to provide any identification towards you. It's that simple. And you cannot be upset with somebody for exercising their rights. And suspicion is not a crime. I don't care if I have to go to every single police department in the country, from Alaska to Texas to Florida to Hawaii. All law enforcement officers should understand and know that suspicion is not a crime. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. As always, stay safe. God.
As the dust settles, the confrontation transitions into reflection. And this is where the deeper message emerges. The man walks through what just happened, not with anger, but with analysis. From a third-person perspective, this segment ties everything together. He acknowledges that initial contact isn't the issue, it's how it's handled. The tone, the attitude, the assumption of authority without explanation. He calls out what he perceived as tyrant behavior. But more importantly, he explains why. It wasn't about the question, it was about the demand, the expectation of compliance, without justification. He reinforces key principles. You don't have to identify without reasonable suspicion. You don't have to answer questions. And most importantly, suspicion alone is not a crime. What makes this ending powerful isn't drama, it's clarity. The confrontation is over, but the lesson remains. No arrest. No escalation. Just a moment that could have gone differently, but didn't. And that's what lingers. Because the real takeaway isn't just what happened. It's what it reveals about power, rights, and the thin line between them.